They've done it again. Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell are the APTA national champions for the second year in a row.
There you have it, your women's APTA national champions, Florentina Harnisch and Anna Maria Zabori.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the APTA Tour Series. We're live today from the Weston Golf Club in Weston, Massachusetts, bringing you the Boston Open Grand Prix, sponsored by the APTA membership, our national sponsors, Viking and Paddle Pro, and local sponsors, the presenting sponsor, Discipline and Alpha LLC, our platinum sponsor, Worcester Air and Weston Golf Club, our gold sponsor, Bully Boy Distillers and Owl's Nest Resort, and our silver sponsor, Narragansett Beer. I'm Jeff Morneau, along with Patty Hogan, bringing you the women's finals between Florentine Harnisch and Anna Zabori, and Roxy Anica and Gabby Nicolescu. Patty?
Jeff, good morning. This is just going to be the match of the year on the women's game so far. We have Harnisch and Anna Zabori. And Jeff, I might need your help to identify them.
Sure. So we've got Flor Harnisch playing the forehand court, just hitting that forehand there in the bright green sneakers. And her partner, Anna Zabori, over there on the backhand side, wearing the visor. And on this side, on the backhand side, with the white ball cap, is Roxy Anica, and her partner playing the forehand court with the red vest, Gabby Nicolescu. Patty, do you want to take a quick look at the draw and see how the players got here?
Oh, sure, Jeff. When this draw came out, we knew it was explosive. Some people thought the draw was bottom heavy. It was top heavy. All we knew was that Harnisch Zabori come into the Boston Open undefeated. We looked at their draw. They had to get past Delmonico Gebbia, the number 3 seed in the semis, and they handled them nicely 3-3. Then you looked at the firepower in the bottom of the draw. Curtis Andrekovo went out to, Shea Sutter. Then Shea Sutter, who have been the team of late, went out to Elliot and Radesno. And then you have Anica and Nicolescu, who I got to watch some of their play yesterday, Jeff. They just played flawless paddle, which makes this matchup I think, like the most amazing women's paddle match that we've had this season or last season.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a real good match here today. A lot of firepower on the court for from all the women. What do you think about the Viking keys to victory? What do you think we got today for there, Patty?
Okay, well, I think these are 4 of the most amazingly talented women in the game, Jeff. And I think that the keys for Harnisch Zabori, I think they're going to have the onslaught of drives from Gabby and Nicolescu and Anica that they've never seen. They haven't seen this season for sure. I think their screenplay is going to be fascinating here in the colder weather with the overhead rollers. Nicolescu and Anica have 2 of the best rollers in the game. And I think that, I'll be interested in the consistency from Zabori in handling that, Jeff.
Excellent. And what about for Anica? Well, there's Anica and Nicolescu. And what about for Zabori and Harnisch?
Okay, I think we just did that. I see right up on my screen, I see Anica and Nicolescu, Jeff.
Yep.
And I think the key for them, they have to serve well. They threw in a couple of faults. They can't afford that against Harnisch and Zabori. It's got to be mental toughness. They got to ride the wave when Flor and Anna are on fire. Just weather the storms that come their way. That's the question for me, just because they're not mentally tough. Tournament tough.
Great, looking forward to it. We've got our umpire calling everything out right now. It's one of our famous umpires, Bill Horn, a local, very experienced umpire up there in the chair. Hopefully he stays nice and warm. As you mentioned, Patty, we do have some cold weather here. You know, we're in the low 20s, and we'll see how the ball reacts in that weather, especially with all these rollers.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You know, all of these women possess such offensive weapons, Jeff, and I think the pace of play could be lights out here, and this is going to be feisty. These women have a lot of respect for each other, but they also, you know, have a lot of knowledge of each other, and I think that it could be fiery out here in more ways than one.
Yeah, friends off the court, but they all want to prove to each other that they are the best of the best. They're out here, they're going to get a chance to prove it, and I think you're even seeing some of this firepower that we can expect right here in warm-up. You're seeing all sorts of different serves being practiced by each of the players. Annika doing some overhand serves, doing some underhand serves. They're practicing ripping returns at each other. They were practicing rollers. You know, they're trying to intimidate each other right from the start. And I think, like you said, Nicolescu and Annika have a lot of firepower, as does Zabori. And, you know, Hanish has tons of experience. They're a team that, you know, they've been playing together now for a while. And a new team here of Annika Annika and Nicolescu. It's a new team, but, you know, oftentimes when you have a new team, it's really fun. It's exciting to play, and I always find that when teams are having fun on the court, they really end up also having a lot of success.
Yep, I agree with that. And sometimes the newer teams have less pressure, but in this case, I call this match, I think this is a pick-em because Nicolescu and Nika, national champions in their own right. You know, their volley skills, their offensive overheads, I'll just keep referring to it because I just saw them just dictate throughout play yesterday when they took out Elliott and Redesno, when they took out Cooper Molenveld. I mean, they just hammered it, and they possess weapons that Hanish and Zabori have not seen on the tour this year.
They're getting ready. A couple last-minute stretches, some last-minute strategy talk.
And you look at the APTA Cup women's standings, Jeff, and, you know, you don't see the names Nicolescu and Annika high up on this because they haven't played. But they, like we said, you know, they can compete with anybody in the country. Everyone has such regard for them. Kudos to Zabori and Hanish. I mean, they are having a dream season, having not lost a match since last year's Nationals. The last time they lost, Jeff, was in Long Island in the warm-up, the March to Nationals last year, where they went out against Liz Cruz and Gabby Nicolescu.
Well, it'll be interesting. They're obviously on a tear on the women's tour. I think the addition of Annika and Nicolescu, we'll see if that changes today, and if, you know, Zabori and Hanish will have to try to figure something out. This is a team and players that they haven't played in a while, so they, you know, not able to go to the video, watch, come up with a strategy, you know, just to see what they do. They're going to have to adjust their initial, they may have to adjust their initial game plan as this match goes on, depending how things are going.
Great point, Jeff, because they've been the front runners since Nationals last year, and, you know, so they haven't been tested to the best of their abilities, I think, on a consistent basis yet on tour this year. This is one of 16 stops on the APTA Tour, and off we go, women's final. Right away, that return to serve, Nicolescu.
And there it is, Zabori, such great racket skills. You know, didn't move her feet, but she makes that shot just to, you know, probably more than she misses it.
Well, they're going to go after her in that ad court today on the overheads. It's definitely part of their game plan. I think a lot of teams, Jeff, we had a brief conversation this morning. A lot of times you'll see people go after Floor because they don't think that maybe Floor can hurt them. Floor hurts you with a wide array of shots where Zabori can just deliver the knockout blow. But I think with the overheads that Nicolescu and Anika possess and their volley ability, I think they're going to be confident going into the ad corner. And we're going to see Flores, the one, Hanisch, out of the deuce court maybe sneaking over toward the middle. Kind of an opposite of what we've seen against most teams.
Yeah, both teams just kind of feeling themselves out right here. Hanisch serving. Love 30.
You know, there are going to be breaks of serve all over because of the return of serves that these women possess here, Jeff. And again, I saw that all day yesterday, and that's why I talked about how Hanisch and Zabory will handle the pressure off those drives from Nicolescu and Anika.
There is a quick game for Nicolescu and Anika. You know, off to a really good start for them. You know, you saw Nicolescu, both of her return of serves went right through the middle, back off the screen. You know, Zabory wasn't moving or poaching, and it put them right away into an offensive position.
One of the things we'll look for, Jeff, is, you know, Zabory is very handsy, has great touch, you know, among the best in the women's game. But they haven't really had to form a wall and defend with backhand volleys against anyone this year, you know, on a consistent basis. And that's what I'm going to look for as one of the keys in this match.
Oh, there was one of those drop shots you were talking about. She just missed it. It was a good effort, shot she normally makes.
Love the play, and what a great pickup from Nicolescu there, just on that little half volley. And I mean, it is so fun to have Anika and Nicolescu back in women's play here, Jeff.
Love.
And Jeff, you know, we often will say, you know, who does it favor to get an early start? Definitely Nicolescu and Anika. They are front runners, just like Hanisch and Zabory are.
30-15.
Yeah, early on, just a couple of unforced errors by Hanisch, Zabory. They're a little nervous. I'm sure that these routine shots that they normally make will start going in soon.
Jeff, when I say they're front runners, what do I mean by that? How do you explain that?
Well, there's some players are a lot better when they're in the lead, and you know, when they're playing ahead, they got their confidence rolling. They like to, you know, they're playing fast and loose, and they just keep going. You know, when things get, that's the way that they like to play. And when a match gets close, it's always harder to play that way. So if they can get a lead, they just keep on rolling and rolling and rolling, keep the pressure on.
And I think that's what puts these four women in, you know, the upper echelon in our sport. Any tournament they show up and play, Jeff. They know how to close the door.
Good return there by Zabory. They've pulled it back together. A couple of unforced errors by Anika and Nicolescu.
Yeah.
And now we're back at 1-1.
Kind of surprised Nicolescu served first. They each had some faults yesterday during play. But I love having Nicolescu on top of the net early on because she's so active. We'll see her moving on the Anika serving game.
Love.
Anna, you? Yeah. And me. Yes.
You know, as we said, Hanisch, Zabory, what a year. They won the Witch tournament over Curtis and Andreikova. They beat Andreikova and Spitz out in Chicago. They've taken out Shea and Sutter in 2 finals in Westchester and Detroit. And like we said, they are on a streak, unique in the sport.
Yep. Zabory to serve, 30 love. She's taken off one of her gloves, so she's clearly getting a little warm.
30-15.
You. Yeah, me. Come
Good move there by Hanish.
Yeah, that's that Zabori overhead. It's a thing of beauty to watch.
Yeah, she really gets down low. Uses her legs.
Yeah, I just don't know how effective it will be against Nicolescu in that deuce court. I have seen Zabori break down a lot of players, but Nicolescu is one of the women who, you know, is a wonderful mixed player and has played against a lot of spin varieties.
40-30.
A fault? I mean, that can come, you know, partially as a result of just wondering about that big Nicolescu forehand return. Oh, great play there by Annika. And tags her. You know, Zabori's used to getting away with that, I think, against most players in the country, but not Nicolescu. She was ready for it.
You. Yeah, me. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about all four players. None of them shy away from the action. You know, they each have huge confidence in their volley ability. They love, I mean, the pace of play really fast actually favors both teams,
Advantage,
Jeff.
Anika.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Is I think both teams are still filling each other out, but a great shot there by Annika, and a lot of spin on her overhead. It hit Hanish's paddle, spun off to the left and out of bounds.
Yep, and I would just think if someone needs to slow down the pace of play, I'd be curious if Nicolescu and Anika can do that. I know that Hanish and Zabori definitely can do that. Anika and Nicolescu just haven't played much together, so that'll be a question that could come up throughout this match.
Yeah, Annika really pumped up there, hit a really good return to serve, hard down at the feet of Zabori, and then gave a little fist pump and a little yell. I mean, there she is, just fired up. They want this.
Shout out to Liz Cruz, the director, the wonderful director over at the Patterson Club in Connecticut. That's where Nicolescu is teaching as well. And kudos and congratulations to Liz Cruz, who just had her third baby, a little boy. And Liz will be chiming in during this match from time to time, Jeff.
That's great. I'm sure, you know, Liz has a lot of great viewpoints on this match and all the players she's played. You know, I know she's played against them all. I don't know exactly who she's played with, but I'm sure she's played with a few.
Three-time national champ.
Yep.
She's won with Nicolescu, Anna Berzova. I mean, Liz is one of our game's finest players, you know, in a category, the upper echelon in the sport of the women's game. You know, you look at the names that we have in our game and the number. Jeff, do you know the number of women's national champions who are in this draw?
Love 30.
I don't
Okay,
know the
ready?
number, but
Over under.
there's 4 of them on this court, I think, right?
Yeah, we have nine women who have won national title. Nika's the only one who hasn't won a women's. She's won 2 mixed. Played in 4 straight mixed nationals finals with the one and only Juan Araya. And you know, this when you talk about the game's best, they are being showcased here. What a wonderful job from the Boston Open. Everyone's worked really hard on this event. 4 tournaments this weekend. Hey, Jeff, tons of play for all levels of play. We start off with Scott Slobin with PTI Nationals.
Yeah,
I mean, what a wonderful weekend of paddle.
Yeah, they got good paddle weather. Friday was a little bit cold. You know, yesterday was great. Also a little bit cold. Today, I think, is the best of the 3 days in terms of the weather. But having all those tournaments here in this area, a lot of fans around here, good fan base. Great shot there by Zabori. You know, there's a lot of people out here watching today. There were tons of people out here yesterday. So, you know, Boston is always one of the best events of the year. We're going to see our first I formation. And
15-40.
Zbori went for the body blow, except it hit the back screen. Showing off her power, but not the accuracy on that one. Oh, great pickup by Hanish. Yeah, they're both teams playing very aggressive, Patty.
30-40.
Yeah, it's kind of what I expected, Jeff. I thought that both teams would come out of the box swinging and really, you know, not. I just thought that each team going into this was really confident, strangely enough. You know, and how are Roxy and Gabby confident? Because they know what they have, they know their skills they possess. And you know, I talked briefly to Anika this morning, and they had a game plan, and they were feeling really confident after you know, having such a great day yesterday. So that's why I said this match is a pick 'em, even though Zbori and Hanish have had a remarkable run this year. I just think offensive drives, consistency that you get from Anika and Nicolescu is unparalleled in the game. You know, and Jeff, when you see Anika and Hanish, they are such a wonderful combination of talent. You know, Floor will break a team down different ways, off-speed ball, tremendous placement on her lobs. Then, you know, you have Zbori to do the knockout blow, where Anika and Nicolescu both consider themselves huge offensive threats. But interestingly enough, you know, the alpha role is going to Nicolescu, and Anika has done a wonderful job of, you know, appreciating that she doesn't really have to force anything. She just needs to be rock solid, super steady, and she has so much confidence that Nicolescu can do the rest.
Yeah, that was a really good point. Really good points, Patty. We got ourselves Hanish is about to serve.
Bounce, bounce, Anna. Great volley, great hands.
Yep.
15 love.
That's the shot they got to be careful of. Zbori really loves to take that hard ball that's driven at her and just drop it right down there, open up the court, makes it really tough.
15 all.
Okay. Confirm? Yeah.
One of the things that makes Zbori and Hanish an amazing team is their positive energy, Jeff. They no matter what, I've seen them ride the ebbs and flows throughout matches, and I mean, they're winning national championship last year over Nicolescu and Cruz. At Canoebrook was a remarkable match where, you know, it could have gone either way, and it was just the highlight reel of action, and ever since then, they're just incredible.
Bounce, bounce, Anna. Come on. Volley, great hands.
40-15.
You've seen Zbori here. She's, you know, of the 5 points, she's picked off 3 of the returns so that they can, you know, stay at the net.
And I love that play where the partner helps out the server. I think that's key in this match. Shout out to Montclair Golf Club, where Floor Hanish has joined Mick Erdoya on their teaching staff. Super enthusiastic paddle club over in Montclair.
Big return there by Anika.
Deuce.
That's probably what we're going to be repeating. Big return by Anika, big return by Nicolescu, big return by Zbori, big return by Hanish. They all have such incredible power on the return. You know, I think, you know, Hanish with the overhand serve, the ball is going to have a little bit more of a down up and is going to be easier to hit hard. Versus, you know, Anika's doing that sidearm serve, so I think that makes it a little more difficult for Hanish and Zbori to really put power on it.
Yeah, clearly they're testing Anika over in that ad court.
Just outside.
Advantage, Anika.
Anika really was able to get that ball down at Zabori. She had to try to pick up a half volley and then go over the high part of the net. A really difficult shot, low percentage. But it was more the overhead that, you know, set up the Anika ability to drive that ball at the feet. They're going into the I formation here. Let's see what Anika does with the return.
Super disciplined. We just went up the line. Didn't really challenge it. She just took the opening that was there. I mean, Anika's playing with such poise and maturity this weekend, Jeff. Not saying that as a surprise. I'm just saying, given that she hasn't played a lot of tournaments coming off a knee injury, it's quite remarkable.
Oh, great play by Zabori right there, and a good pickup by Anika.
But I think they'll take their chances if, you know, Zabori can beat them with that shot. You know, I think they'll take that. That's one of their places that they feel they can cover the next shot.
Yeah, and you've seen Zabori, her forehand seems a little bit off. She's missed a few. They're really flat. They're going a little bit long. You know, I think if she's going to keep striking it like that and hit them, you know, she's got to try to get the ball, I think, at their feet first, and then try to get, you know, Anika or Nicolescu to volley the ball up and short and then drive the ball down hard. But when you're hitting it that flat from that deep in the court, it's hard to keep it in.
Yeah, and I think, you know, driving off of the overheads that you see, in particular from Nicolescu, hitting with a semi-western to a western grip, Jeff, at times, it can make any drive a lot more difficult. It totally impacted their match Mullenveld-Cooper yesterday. Just the spins drove them crazy.
Love.
Another Zabori forehand. You know, they're just going out by, you know, 6 inches or so. Just to add a little bit of spin to that, try to get it at the feet, and I think should have a little more long-term success.
I think she should have just rocked the ball at Anika. I think you got to make Nicolescu pay for that short serve a little bit.
40
Or, you know, I'd be curious if Zabori takes a step in, because Nicolescu is not serving particularly deep yet. You know, Anika's a little bit off the net there. There's some room to go right at her.
I think she might
There
have
we go,
heard you.
Jeff.
That was just hammered by Nicolescu.
Game, Anika and Nicolescu. They lead the first set 4-2.
I don't think that's an overhead you want to hit too often, just putting it right up at Nicolescu's shoulders, and she's just flattening right out and right through. They were moving on up to take the net.
Yeah, I just think of all the places you have on the court, you don't want to, you can't engage Nicolescu. I felt like she got overplayed yesterday. People were testing her a little too much, and she came through. She was just dominant.
Love the team.
You? Yeah. Me? No. You? Yeah. Me? Yeah.
Love 30.
Great look at the Anika forehand, good footwork, really smooth swing, hits that dipping ball, really tough to control that volley.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I think all these players, you know, they have the ability to spin that ball. Nobody's kind of sitting right on the net, and I think if they, from the baseline, if they tried to put a little more combinations in, get the ball at the feet first, and then hit the big drive that goes through or right at them, as opposed to, you know, right from here going you know, right at their body. Oh, great shot by Nicolescu. Backhand dropper from above her head.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, all 4 players can take advantage of those off-speed, short lob push shots. So that's going to be dangerous. Zabory and Hanish do not want to be the recipients of too many drop shots here.
$15-40.
All right. The overrule by the umpire was close, but it was in, so. Yeah, well placed right there, right down the middle, right at the feet. You know, it's a ball when I think when you hit that serve and you see Nicolescu moving over to drive that forehand like that, and you're not right on the net, you got to let that one go through, go back, reset, put a lob up. Just a really difficult shot to pick up a ball at your feet like that with that kind of pace coming at you.
You know, Jeff, that was a pretty good serve, but you saw the footwork there of Nicolescu. We just talked about it from Anika, but Nicolescu, I mean, created that shot for herself just with that amazing movement that she has, and she can hit a shot and be slightly off balance and still crush the ball.
Yeah, anything up high to Nicolescu is going to get hammered. I mean, anything, you know, anything on the forehand side gets hammered, but particularly something up high where she's able to hit it down at the feet. You know, I really do think that Zabory and Hanish would be well served to let those balls go through, go back, reset, and then try to work their way back into the net or use their own ground strokes to win the point. But trying to pick up those difficult volleys off of, you know, a shot like that from Nicolescu it's a low percentage play.
So, Jeff, this is the Anika serving game, which is going to be huge throughout the course of this match. She struggled just a little bit with it yesterday, so I'll be curious with the consistency on her roller serve.
Good volley there, just inside the baseline.
All.
Hanish knows, talking to herself out there, saying can't miss lobs. They're really trying to get their team A game going here.
Yeah, and we know in this sport, you know, self-inflicted errors are the killers. You know, it's one thing when there's a ton of pressure, but if you just go for a little tiny too much, you know, that could be the difference in a match like this.
Yeah.
30-15.
Right off the nick, Zabory had the line somewhat covered and then tried to do what she could, tried to flick the paddle at it and fell out of her hand. Point Nicolescu. There it was, Patty, right? Another, you know, a fault. I think it's a natural serve for her because she's got that roller, but, you know, not having played in a while, you know, one of the first things that makes it, one of the hardest things to bring back is the serve.
And I think the roller, Jeff, as we've seen for a righty, it's a bit lower percentage hitting it into that ad court. That's what I'll kind of look for. You need a lot of confidence to hit that serve. Yeah, I'd be curious when Nicolescu starts pulling it out after the way she hits her overheads. I would think she would have a heavy serve with a roller type of serve, sidearm serve.
One of the longest points of the match.
Yeah, right there. This is the play. Off the Hanish, superb placement on the lob that leads to Zabory, you know, able to blitz, take over the net. You know, that's definitely the key to success for Hanish and Zabory.
Yeah, and a smart play there. That's their. I think that's their strategy, their typical play. That's their routine. But good play by Nicolescu there. We haven't seen a lot of that, which was to let that ball by Zabori go through. Got a lob up and got themselves in the point, as opposed to trying to make that really difficult volley. Oh, good volley by Anika.
Anika. It's a
Anika.
curious thing when you look up and you see great players in every corner. Where do you hit a ball? And to have to play Zabori is quite remarkable. But, that's because of the respect everyone, in the game has for Hanish and her ability to just hit the spots on the court. She's just so consistent. But I just love her lobbing placement that will really kind of open up the court for, like, the flashiness Zabori's game.
Advantage, Zabori.
Yeah, just missing. Anika, close, just outside the line.
Yeah, and Zabori's doing a good job here, just putting the ball up, keeping it in play, not forcing anything. But, when she gets her opportunity, she's never backing off.
Oh, a tweener. Zabori getting down really low to pick that one up.
Yeah, just the level of play here is so fun to watch, Jeff.
Yeah, this is one of the longest and best points. Great lob there by Zabori. It's kind of funny to say that the lob won the point with these four ladies, but that was the shot right there. Got it over Nicolescu. Little miscommunication, and Anika couldn't get over there in time.
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about before we went on the air, Jeff. Just how Nicolescu and Anika would handle the really good lobbing, and I was a little bit more concerned for them out of the deuce court with Hanish, but Zabori just figured it out, went up the line on that shot, and that was a problem. And Anika's coming back from a knee injury. But she was kind of, she's been volleying really well, so she's close to the net, so it's a brilliant play to lob up the line and get that person who's on top of the net volleying, backing up and having to hit some off-balance overheads.
Good action here. Zabori really taking over that point. She poached a little bit, stopped that Nicolescu drive return going through, and then was able to take control of the net and win the point. Great pickup. Yeah, Hanish supporting Zabori there. Even though she missed it, it was a great play. The court was open. Zabori was trying to get it down at Anika's feet. You had Hanish going in. If Zabori had made that, I think the point would have been over, and it would have been 30-love Hanish Zabori. Great athleticism by all four players there, Patty.
Yeah, I just love the court movement. They all look so smooth.
Great get by Zabori. Nicolescu goes for the dropper, and it just clips the top of the net. Hanish Zabori stay in this game as a result.
Love the idea of the drop shot. little tougher sometimes for that. Looked like a little bit of an awkward forehand to try it on. But I love the idea.
30,
And it's just the
40.
threat of it, Jeff, throughout the match. If, you know, there's potential for Gabby hitting that, Hanish has to regard it.
Yeah, there, Nicolescu making sure she got the ball a little farther cross court. Zabori couldn't pick it off, and, you know, advantage Nicolescu. Anika, set point.
Shoot.
Good serve there by Hanish. Got it nice and deep, right into the body of
Hanish.
Anika.
She is clutch. And by clutch, I mean she handles everything beautifully out there as a competitor.
Advantage, Hunter.
And you can see she knows how important this moment is in the match.
There, Anika had a little opening, just missed it. Good play. Oh, great close by Anika.
Deuce.
You know, Hanish has been sneaking that one by, and this time Anika really got on top of the net and was able to cut it off.
Yeah, you know, Anika, these four players know each other well, Jeff. You know, Anika just read the play from Floor, and that's where Floor will learn from that. And, you know, sometimes you have to just throw up another lob if that woman's closing on the other side. And
Advantage, Anika.
in the hands of Anika, you've got to think, you gotta can't pull the trigger instantly all the time.
Here we go, set point number 2. We'll see if Hanish can come up with as good a serve as she did last time. I'm surprised Nicolescu let that one go and didn't give it a rip. Good cutoff there by Hanish. One good lead court deserves another. Anika got it on the last point. Hanish got it on this one, and we're back to deuce.
Yeah, look at that preparation on the Zabori overhead. I love how she gets her feet really far apart. Early preparation with that paddle way back.
I mean, that's just a great lob there by Anika. I mean, 3 or 4 really good lobs there. They're really high, nice and deep, pulling Zabori way off the net, making it a difficult overhead to hit.
Yeah, Zabori probably could have passed up on that same overhead she's been hitting. She had to play a little bit more of a neutral overhead there because of the depth of the lob.
Great exchange. Another good lob by Anika.
In the first set, 6-3.
Well, first set, Patty, and you know, we'll do a quick little recap here, but it looks like Hanish Zabori are going to have to figure out a new game plan. And we're going to give a little shout out to one of our great sponsors, Paddle Pro. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an expert, recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to www.paddlepro.com.
Jeff, the APTA is lucky to have and fortunate that Paddle Pro has joined forces, and Bob Considine's done a wonderful job for 20 years, meets the needs of any any pros, anybody who needs anything, Paddle Pro is the source, not only for paddle, but pickleball, padel, tennis, you name it, Paddle Pro has it.
So what do you think, Patty? What do you think's going to happen here in this set?
Okay, so I think that the offensive firepower that we spoke of from Niculescu and Nika definitely, is impacting the rhythm tempo a little bit of the Hanish Zabory team. Usually they're really comfortable at the net at all times. And I just see, the lobbing is impacting Zabory here a little bit. She's forced a couple overheads in that last game. And I think to Niculescu and Nika's credit, their level of play is pretty consistent here. They're taking their opportunities when they get it, and they're not making a lot of unforced errors, Jeff.
Yeah, I think I agree mostly with that. I think you're seeing great play out of Niculescu and Anika. They're really not making many unforced errors. Zabory, in my opinion, I think I saw her miss, a lot of shots she doesn't normally miss. A lot of forehands went long at the wrong time. And then you saw, some overheads, just get dumped into the net. And really, I think it was more a choice of shot selection. And there again, there's a Zabory forehand error. So I think, if Zabory doesn't cut down on those forehand errors here in this set, it's going to go the same way.
Zabory's forcing it a little bit, and you could see how far over she went onto the Hanish side of the court. And I think this is the test that Zabory and Hanish, I knew they would have a test in this match with Niculescu and Anika, and I thought for either team, whoever was going to handle when the other team was playing really well would be the winner in this match. And right now it's Anika Niculescu. They're handling it, and you could just feel the frustration with Zabory in the ad court.
Great play there. Really good exchanges from all three players that were at the net.
Shout out from Texas, Shannon Vincent, Pittsburgh, Natalie Lemieux. Lots of people all over the country loving the action, Jeff.
Called out, overruled.
40-30.
40-30, Anika Niculescu.
So when we talked about pace of play earlier, who could slow it down? I said that I had confidence in Zabory and Hanish's ability to slow it down, and that's what they're going to have to do right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Patty. I think that Zabory is just making too many errors, and I think it would serve Hanish is great. I think it would serve her well to take a couple of games off here from taking so much risk on her drives and just, slow things down for herself and maybe see if, Hanish can be the one to give the offense.
Yeah, it just comes down to, you look at like Broderick Christian, surprise finalist in the Boston Open this afternoon. Coming through and just being so incredibly patient and having a huge willingness just to put every single ball back in play. Part of that mentality needs to get into Anna Zabory and Hanish right now.
It's just not their natural style. It's not the way that they want to play. But sometimes, and I don't think it would serve them well to, engage in that style of play. They're too good and they've got too much offense. And the way that they beat other teams is through their great offense. But every once in a while when
stay at the same pace, it's not going to serve them well. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, what a slam into the screen by Zabory. Niculescu sprinted full speed, went around the pole, went right at Zabory, made a volley, and then just a half volley shot by Anika into the net. But what a great point, great athleticism.
Really fun. A dazzling display, Jeff.
It's fun to watch.
I think the thing about Zabori's play from the ad court, the reason why I think she has to lob more, is just to give Nicolescu and Anika more looks at the ball, because they've not played tournaments this year. They're not match tough, and you know they're riding an unbelievable wave here, and so something's got to change, and that's why I think just making them hit 1,000,000 overheads for just a stretch, like you said, maybe even go into a holding pattern for a game or two, just to see if you can't switch the momentum.
Exactly. Yep. Well, it looks like they got off to a good start here in the second set. They're up 1-0. Anika Nicolescu still laughing, having fun out there.
You know, Anika's in a wonderful mindset, Jeff. She's been more of the offensive weapon with some of her past partnerships, and with Nicolescu, who has so much firepower. You know, this allows Anika to sort of just to dial back and, you know, just play a little bit more of a setter-up kind of role, a little bit more passive, I would say. And then when she gets her opportunity, she can pull the trigger. But she's making very few errors, and that's why they've got a lead in this match. I like this from a Zabori, just a little bit less pace on those overheads.
Yeah, it's just, you know, like we were talking about, slowing it down a little bit, playing, you know, a little more conservative paddle. There's that shot by Nicolescu. When people are off the net, she just, you know, she's got so much spin on that ball. She dips it at the feet. Even if you make that volley and it goes back over, it's probably just going to land, you know, nice and soft in the middle of the court, and then she's going to slam the next one with her big flat forehand and, you know, then take the net or win the point outright.
I think Hanish, as you could see, was frustrated with herself that of the places she could have hit that overhead, she hit it to the Nicolescu forehand, and that's not how they're going to come back in this match.
Yeah, Zabori getting very frustrated with herself. Missing shots she doesn't normally miss.
You know, I'd be curious if Hanish switches and actually gets on the left side and handles some of the lobs to negate what's going on with, you know, off of the Zabori errors off of her overhead here.
30-40.
Yeah, you know, they really haven't ever had to do that. Like you said, since Nationals of last year, they haven't had to do that. Zabori's been playing over there, but you raise a great point, Patty. I thought about it a couple of games ago, and, you know, both these teams have two players that are, you know, almost equally capable at the net of taking control of the match. And so, you know, when Zabori's off a little bit like this, I think it would be a great idea to switch for a little while, a couple of games, you know, and give Hanish a chance and see if she can take control of the match and be the one, as opposed to it always being Zabori at the net.
Yeah, Hanish can. I have so much respect for her ability to manage herself throughout these matches, and she's the one who is such a tactician out there. So I would look for her to be able to make some kind of adjustments here. But you're right, they haven't had to do it all year long. And they're just a little bit off their tempo here, and all the credit goes to Nicolescu and Anika. They're making them, you know, not giving them anything easy here. and you have to so be forward, Jeff, looking for the volley against Nicolescu and Ika that, you know, even a short lob is having some, you know, pretty high degree of effectiveness here for Nicolescu and Anika.
Good shot there. Anika just reached out for that one and just didn't move her feet like she has been doing all match. She kind of took a big reach and caught it off the end of the paddle and didn't get enough on it. Hanish is going to laugh that one off. And we're back to deuce.
Yeah, Hannah's just great at managing herself, her emotions. She's frustrated, but outwardly she'll always show the smile.
Great close there by Nicolescu.
Advantage, Anika.
And that's just, you know, they're not used to people closing in like that with that, you know, that level of quickness coming in as the ball goes through the screen. And, you know, I think if they play these guys more, you're going to see Hanish, when she gets in that position, she's just going to lob it up and reset. Great close by Zabori. Nicolescu tried to stay in there and go head-to-head against her and just push that half volley a little wide.
Little bounce for Zabori. She loved that play.
Great get off that let cord serve.
Again, I don't know why you would leave the ball over to Nicolescu's forehand. Great rip up the line from Hanish.
Advantage, Hanish.
You know, Jeff, how you're in a match and you test your opponents and you're like, okay, the deuce player's forehand, backhand. Or someone like you who hits two hands off of everything. It's hard to tell, forehand or backhand. But clearly the biggest weapon on the court is Nicolescu's forehand out of that deuce court. I just think Hanish and Zabori have to not create any extra opportunities for Gabby to feel great about her play.
Yeah, you know, the platform tennis is no different than any other sport. You want to try to make sure you take away the biggest weapon on the other side, or at least eliminate it. So continuing to challenge it, or, you know, challenging it at all is not a good long-term strategy. A little too much there.
Advantage,
Yep,
Hanish.
and Jeff, in the women's game, there's few players like Nicolescu who want to hit every ball in every moment, especially the big moments. You know, sometimes you see players go away a little bit. Their aggressiveness might be, you know, a little bit sensitive to the score, but Nicolescu, no way.
Yeah, Hanish Zabori have had a lot of opportunities in this game. I think they've had, you know, 3 game points, and you've seen, you know, 2 faults, and then that missed forehand by Hanish. That's a really good lob there, nice and deep. You can tell because, you know, both of Zabori's feet are outside the service line. That's when you know you've really hit a nice deep one. Oh, what a great shot.
Great combination of shots there to set herself up for that winner cutter.
Yeah, you know, it seems to me she's the best in the women's game at that. You know, Anika can do it as well.
And I like the play from Zabori where she saw Nicolescu really cheating over toward the middle. There's a lot of room in that corner, and she went in with a low kind of overhead, and that set up the drop shot winner, or the slash winner.
Yeah, that's 2 of those in this game.
Game, Hanish, Zabori.
Just the soft one down the middle, and, you know, you got Anika who really just stretched out again and didn't move her feet to get over there and get it. But, you know, kudos to Zabori for keeping that ball low in the middle of the court, keeping it away from the Nicolescu forehand into the backhand and, making Anika move over.
Yeah, I mean, what a hold for Hanisch. Big time right there.
Yeah, that's a good one for them to hold. Like you said, like we were talking about, they had 3 add points and gave it away. They would have been kicking themselves if they didn't win that game. Yeah, she's talking to herself. She knows she's just got to slow it down, take a break, and stop missing those easy forehands. She's giving away too many free points.
Yeah, Nicolescu was right on top of the net, actually, so Zaborri wasn't going to get anything out of that. And, that's what she's got to be mindful, where her opponents are with their position, how close they're playing to the net. That should determine some of her shots. She can overpower people, but not when she's off balance and too deep down the middle, I don't think.
Yeah, and there was a good, you saw some great footwork there by Hanisch to get, the hard ball off the back screen. She moved forward, and I was a little surprised that both Nicolescu and Anika stayed in there and tried to volley that. Good pickup there by Zaborri. Close.
30.
Just another route, it's a routine ball that they normally don't miss. 2 what I'd just call unforced errors from the baseline here in this game for Hanisch Zaborri.
Game, Anika Nicolescu. Hanisch Zaborri lead the second set, 2-1. Anika Nicolescu won the first set, 6-3.
What do you think, Patty?
I think that Anika is the happiest woman on the planet right now, that she just got out of her serving game with such ease. Way too fast a game there from Zaborri and Hanisch. They've got to put up a little bit more of a fight. And like I said, the Anika sidearm serve is a little bit in question, and they made it easy for her that game.
Yeah, 2 forehand errors by Zaborri on the, one was a return to serve. The other one was the first ball after the return to serve, and then also, an error by Hanisch on the return to serve. So, the points that they were winning just went really fast on unforced errors. I think they got to slow things down, try to extend the point, and wait for a better opportunity for a drive. I know that they're capable of driving just about anything, but right now they're not making, the drives that are a little bit higher risk, where the ball's, below the net or a little deeper in the court. I think that if they wait around a little bit from the back, they're going to have a little more success. Their shot selection will be better.
Yep, and, the hands and the volley ability from Nicolescu Anika. I mean, Anika's volleys, when she came into the game, I just was astounded by them. And, I think that's definitely in the mind, especially from Zaborri on her drive here, just trying to make it a little too good out of, the regard she has for the volley abilities.
She started yelling during the points. Roxy. It's verbal interference.
Did it distract you during the point? Then I would replay the point.
Not sure what happened, Jeff?
Well, what happened there is, you saw Anika hit an unbelievable forehand drive cross court and started, cheering as though she had won the point, and probably rightfully so, because 99 times out of 100 that ended the point. But Zaborri was able to go back and get it, but they were already celebrating like they had won the point. So, it ended up that there was a little distraction during the point, and Zaborri, rightfully, I think, called them out on it. And so they're going to replay the point, it looks like.
Love 15.
That's Roxy Anika about to return serve out of the ad court on the far side. Her partner, Gabby Nicolescu, in the red vest. Little chalk talk with Flor Hanish and Anna Zabori here.
Yes, me.
Flor Hanish going to an I formation,
Yep.
giving a little information to her partner, thinking twice about everything here.
Anna, more this. Yes. Okay.
They've changed their mind about 4 or 5 times, so let's see what happens.
15 off.
Good reach for Hanish to come up with that shot, and got a gift of a missed high volley. Little out of Anika's reach.
I go.
That's what I'd like to see Anika do a little bit more, lobbing up the line, get Hanish back off the net as well.
Yeah, right there. You know, Anika's been playing great, but just really way too deep in the court to be trying that. If she just waits a little bit longer, she's going to get a better opportunity for a strike.
Forty, 15.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous spot right now. I feel like Anika, is forcing it a tiny bit. There she had nowhere to go, on Hanish and Zabori. I think she could have just taken the shot up the line, keep the point and, ball in play. We don't need this to turn into a Anika offensive show. That's not going to be how they're going to win this match. Shout out to Jim Ripkema from Split Rock in Hague, New York. Player up in Ticonderoga, Jeff.
Game,
Bori with another slam into the back screen. Nicolescu tried to chase that one down, but it's hard to pick up that ball. She took a swat at it, but came up with air.
Yeah, and just, what a display of the athleticism that all these women have out there. And even though Nicolescu missed that shot, what a great roller. I mean, she came close, and that's Nicolescu's style right there. She's not backing off any situation. She'll take her swing at any ball. Find themselves in a little bit of hole here, Jeff. Hanish Zabori kind of tightening up play, losing some of those unforced errors, and they're up 3-1, second set. Nicolescu serving.
Love.
And right here, Jeff, this is what I'm saying. This is this is like the moment in the match for both teams here. I think the first set, we're not even thinking about it. They just have to focus on this game right here in this second set, because this is huge.
Yeah, let's see what Hanish does here. I'm thinking that she's going to do something that just kind of puts this ball in play. Yeah, there it is. So I saw Hanish over there talking to Zabori. Hanish, clearly the strategic captain of the team, and it seemed to me like right there at that moment, Hanish really realized that we're giving them too many free points. Even though we can drive these returns, we need to slow things down and make sure we get balls in play, because we're giving away too many free points right off the bat.
Well, and that's what I felt, that this would be the test. And testing Anika, getting a million balls out of that ad court, because they have to avoid the Nicolescu forehand out of the deuce court. And this is going to be Anika's time here. She's got to just keep the ball in play and not force anything. Shout out to the Arthurs down in Richmond, Virginia. We've got lots of states enjoying the action, and especially listening to you, Jeff.
Well, I'm going to be interested here to see if Zabori is going to give it her usual rip or if she's just going to do something that puts one in play. Yeah, there it is. So they obviously had that discussion. Zabori's taken a lot of pace off of her returns, and they're here to play now. These points on when Anika and Nicolescu are serving, it seems to me like Zabori and Hanish are going to stop trying to really drive returns, and they're just going to put more balls in play.
Well, that's what, I was thinking that was the key for them there. They just had to lengthen the amount of points, and we talked about how it's not their style, but on the onset of this match, I said if someone is going to be able to slow down play and dictate play, that, they can do it, and I wasn't sure if Nicolescu and Anika could. Shout out to Jackie Cameron, our tour director, and Ann Waldron, heading up the live streaming. Lots of work and monster effort from both of them at all of the tournaments, the Grand Prix. Looking forward to Nationals on Long Island. They do a wonderful job. And to Drew Sawyer and the whole committee, Amin Kaduri out of Boston, bringing us this wonderful event all weekend long.
Yeah, what a difference, right? So no more quick errors from Zabori and Hanish. They're going to play the point, and they're going to wait a little bit more for their opportunity. I wasn't so sure that even with Hanish, dictating and kind of developing the strategy, if Zabori could do it, but it appears that she is.
Hanish Zabori leads the second set 3-2. Anika Nicolescu won the first set 6-3.
See, and Jeff, my personal opinion is Hanish. What a wonderful playmaker, tactician out on the court. Great abilities, and just such a fierce competitor, and so smart and able to adjust tactics during play as well as any woman in the game. And Zabori listens, and I've seen her listen, and that's the maturity of Zabori here, that she's eliminated some errors here in the last 10 minutes of play, and this match feels like a completely different tempo match right now, Jeff.
Yeah, both teams are in it. It seems like we'll see what happens in this game, but we just got a new ball, and speaking of balls, we've got Viking. It's the one ball to rule them all. The one ball is consistently chosen for the sport's highest level tournaments, league play, social events, and weekend outings. Viking. For the last 25 years, we have remained the overwhelming choice. It's the official ball of the APTA, the official ball of the National Championships and President's Cup, the official ball of the Grand Prix Series, and we've got a new Viking ball in play here. A little practice serve, give everybody a touch and feel of it, and Hanish to serve. And that's exactly what can happen when you put that new ball in play. It's a little bit livelier, it jumps off the paddle, and we haven't seen Nicolescu miss too many of those returns, and she missed it long.
Jeff, I saw yesterday the balls were coming from inside, keeping them warm with the really cold temps. So it might even be warmer than usual.
Great hands there by Anika.
All.
Yeah, I love the swing from Zabori right there from the ad court straight ahead, just taking Nicolescu on.
15-30.
Shout out to Judy enjoying the action from Hague, New York, another Hagueite enjoying the action, and Lisa from St. Thomas enjoying the action. So, Jeff, now you're a believer in Zabori and Hanish's ability to slow down play.
Well, I mean, it really has only been, one game, so we'll see if it lasts.
15-40.
Whoopsie, that ball got a little too low even for someone as skilled as Zabori.
Come on, no. Yes.
Game. Anika Nicolescu. Score is 3-all. Second set. Anika Nicolescu won the first set 6-3.
Forehand error there by Hanish, an overhead error there by Zabori. I think when Nicolescu hits that return and once it goes past Zabori, I wonder, Hanish I'm sure is used to it. She's got a great forehand. It's a play that they've been using for a long time, right? You get Hanish who then hits her forehand low at somebody who's coming in feed, and then an exchange with Zabori, and Zabori usually wins that point. But against these two, I'm wondering if, Hanish would be better off just lobbing that ball and resetting.
Now, she had them a little bit off the net, and maybe they're just starting to look for the lob a little bit, and so sometimes that, can force a different choice for a player. And, I've seen Floor make that shot a million times. But again, how amazing is this performance from Nicolescu and Anika so far, Jeff, having not played any tournaments? Pairing up here and, 3-all, second set, having won the first over Zabori and Hanish, 6-3.
Yeah, it's great playing. It's a really good match.
What a wonderful backdrop we have here in Boston. Jeff, you've enjoyed it all weekend long. I love the Boston events and the growth of the game, and you gave a little shout out to Johan yesterday and what he has brought to the table in Boston paddle, and just his presence has raised the level, the awareness of the sport, the level, just to have guys like Johan and Steven playing league matches. It's phenomenal for the Boston area.
40-15.
Just a lot of quick point errors again here in this game by Hanish Zabori. Yeah, there's so many people out here supporting the event.
40-30.
Drew Sawyer and the gang put together a great event, men's event, the women's event. It's one of the best stops on the tour.
Speaking of the tour, this is one of 16 tour stops.
Yes.
Will you be headed to Short Hills, Jeff?
I'm not sure if I'm going to be going to Short Hills. I've retired from playing, so I'm in all likelihood not going to be playing in the Grand Prix event, but we'll see what's going on, and maybe I'll make the trip to Short Hills, another one of the famous stops on the circuit. Men's and women's event going on there at the same time, along with a whole bunch of other events. They put on a great show, great event, good parties, big paddle community. Everyone comes out and supports their players. They've got, their favorite players from that area, many great players from there. So looking forward to it. If I'm not there, maybe I'll be announcing or watching it on the live stream like everybody else. The fan base of this sport is really picking up. All the leaders at the APTA, all the different people in the different committees that volunteer their time, putting in a lot of effort to really grow this sport. It's getting more and more popular. And so all these events help to increase awareness of what's going on out there and, grow the sport. That's what this is all about.
So that's Zabori serving here. Huge game. Maria Manley wants us to talk about the pressure that they must be feeling right now, Jeff. What do you have to say about that? What do you think Hanish and Zabori are feeling right now?
I don't know if they're feeling pressure. I think they're probably thinking their way through this match as to what they need to do to win. I don't think they're really feeling pressure. They're national
30
champions.
love.
They've been here before. They've played tennis before. They're pros. They know what they're doing. So I don't know if they're really feeling pressure other than the pressure to figure out a strategy to win. And I think I think Hanish does have that strategy. I think they've developed it. It's a matter of whether they can implement it.
40 love.
Some great drop shots there. One by Hanish, one by Zabori. Gives them a lead in this game.
Yeah, they need a quick game here, an easy game.
Got her. Hanish went for the body blow. Hit Nicolescu. She's laughing. Big smile out of Hanish.
Nicolescu won the first set, 6-3.
But I think that's relief from Hanish and Zabori, and I do think there is pressure here. And I think, if you feel a little bit of tightness, that impacts your ability to execute, swing freely. And I just felt like they just had a giant sense of relief when they won that point.
There's the difference. Wasn't a lot of power on that shot. Made sure she got it in play. They were able to take the net, and now they're in a good spot. And Anika a little too deep in the court for that. Now she's rushing a little bit. All these players I think are just so used to, being able to drive through some of the other teams and that their drives are so successful. And good, I like to see that by Zabori there too, just making sure that the return of serve is in play, not giving any, short, immediate, quick free points. And as you would predict, as the match gets closer and the match gets tighter here in the second set, the players are, slowing things down a little bit. But now we've, seen 2 back-to-back errors by Anika, and now it's love 30. Little pep in the step over there by Hanish, jumping around, making sure she stays loose.
And there's Anika, little jump as well. She knows she's got to shake that off, and no more unforced errors this game.
Nice 15-30.
Good overhead there. Was probably going to go into the nick, so you had to defend it instead of letting it go into the screen and doing a screen lob. Had to try to do a block lob. There was a little spin on that by Anika, and Zabori's went a little short.
Yep, and that's just challenging Zabori over there in the ad court. A lot of teams just don't have the overhead variety and, power to get it in there to break her down a little bit. So we've not seen a lot of that this year, but you're seeing it a little bit with Anika and Nicolescu. And you're right, Jack. When that ball is aimed right at the nick, you can't risk losing a point at this point in the match, so you'll see players go to just block lob the ball.
$30 all. Probably the biggest
point.
biggest point of the match right here. I think we were both thinking the same thing, Patty. Let's see what
I'm feeling
Hanish
a little
does.
pressure, Jeff.
Let's see if Hanish gives this a rip or if she's just going to put it back in play again. Just back in play. Get the point going.
Yeah, they can't afford any return of serve errors from the deuce side from Hanish.
Yeah.
40-30.
There's that roller you were talking about, Patty. It's tough to play right at the body. Zabori would have had to move left on that one with the ball going to the right. She would have had to get out of the way and then make a really good athletic move back to the left again just to get a racket on it and throw the lob up. Tried the block lob and went off her hand. Add in. Nice, smooth, well-placed turn there. Nicolescu, screen
Game.
drive.
Anika Nicolescu. They lead the second set 5-4. They won the first set 6-3.
Well, I think this is where Anika and Nicolescu, if they're going to have a little bit of nerves, this is where it's going to be. It's when they got the lead. It's, you know, I don't think the nerves are there when you're behind, but this is where it would be. They haven't been in a tournament in a long time. They haven't played a big match like this in a long time, and they're sitting on the doorstep of a really big win for them. And so, you know, if a team is going to get nervous, or you're, as a player, you're going to get nervous and you haven't played in a while, I think this is the moment where it's going to happen. So we'll see if they can control those nerves and pull this out. This is really a wonderful opportunity for them, and I'm sure that they want to open the door that has a little crack in it.
Yeah, they're front runners. As you know, we mentioned all 4 of these women can close out matches. I actually think the nerves are big time on Zabory and Hanish right here in this game, and I think Nicolescu and Anika are, you know, came out here to win this match, and I don't think they're nervous at all now.
Great play by Zabory.
Yeah, great hands. Love the exchange.
All 3 of them at the net. Some great pickups on both sides. Zabory was the eventual winner. 15-love.
Floor's had some really good long serving games here, and this is going to have to be her best serving game. Zabory showing good maturity right here in this game. Just in the sequence, she's hit 4 overheads, slightly off speed, just not going all or nothing. That's a great way to eliminate overhead errors.
Anika, not sure she's happy with herself there. Good support by Nicolescu, her partner, cheering her up. She doesn't have to tell Anika she needed to let that one go. It was right at the body. But, you know, part of it is when those nerves are going, the hardest thing to get moving are your feet.
Hard to resist taking a swing at that, trusting that your team can cover it off the back screen.
Good move there.
30-15.
Great volley.
I think Anika's just got to take this drive, return a serve, down the line.
It's that same play.
Yeah, I like that she didn't challenge Zabory at the net. She just put the ball down line, and Flora didn't come up with that one.
Yeah.
2 points possibly from the championship, Jeff, here.
Yep.
For
This is it.
Nicolescu and Anika.
We'll see if Zabory moves here and tries to pick off this volley. Great leave there by Anika. Good down the line forehand. Hanish not happy with herself at all. Missing that lob. She ran back, got it, and just pushed that lob long. They're going in the I formation. I think we're going to see the same play, and we'll see if Hanish can get that forehand in. Here comes Nicolescu. Oh, what a great shot by Hanish. She comes up big right there. Match point down. Hits that great angle winner.
Yeah, wonderful forehand stroke there. She chunked one a couple points ago, and she just made up for it.
There was no room either. Nicolescu was right on top of the net. Great move. Good play.
Anika.
Yeah, really good hands from Anika to keep that ball down low on Zabory, force the error.
Nicolescu talking to Anika, really coming up with a strategy here. Nicolescu creeping in. If this ball goes past, here she comes. Oh, stayed back. And a flyer.
I don't know if that was nerves. I think that
was
was excitement, Jeff. She couldn't believe she had that shot high up on her forehand. That's her. She loves that shot. She typically owns that shot.
Yep.
But that was championship point. Back to deuce.
Hanish with a big serve, threw it in there with a little more power, got it off the back screen. Nicolescu likes that shot, but as she was moving forward, just dumped it in the net.
Yeah, what a great serve and a huge moment for Hanish.
Just wide. Nicolescu came in there, challenged Zubori. This time Nicolescu came up the winner.
Yes, yes.
You know, Jeff, it'd be a shame if it didn't go 3 sets. It's such fun to watch.
Well, I could say Zubori's not happy, but I think that's obvious by what happened there.
Yep. Championship point number 3 for Nicolescu and Anika.
As soon as Hanish had hit that other overhead, she screamed, watch. She knew that it was going. Oh, what a great shot there, right into the Nick with a lot of spin. It jumped out. Nicolescu couldn't get it, and we're back to deuce.
Yeah, that's a Zubori overhead. You know, she has that ability to hold that shot, let the ball drop, and as a result of that time that she creates for herself, she's able to identify where the openings are on the baseline team, and once again, she saw it, was able to sneak it past Nicolescu into that deuce corner.
Another good serve. Yeah, great serve there by Hanish. Mixed it up, got it out wide. Nicolescu was looking middle. Got it to the screen, and just an irresistible for Nicolescu. She had to go for it. Another great serve by Hanish.
Yeah, what a clutch serving game from Hanish here.
What great pickups by all players in that right there. Into the Nick. Hanish, textbook coverage of it. The opening was there too. That ball lands in, it's a winner. Back to deuce.
She just quite wasn't set to hit that shot, Jeff. I think she wishes she had a half a second more, but you don't get that right now. And again, Hanish serving and has been so clutch in this game. Trying to even things up at 5-all.
Another great serve by Hanish. Yep. Great overhead.
Yep, and
you know, what a difference when Nicolescu, you know, isn't able to get that ball through right on the return. I mean, Hanish is really, these last, you know, 4 or 5 serves have been spectacular, allowing Zubori to take control of the net. And there, I think, was a smarter play by Hanish. She just lobbed that one up as opposed to tried to drive it. And now, oh, right into the sun.
Game, Hanish Zubori. Score is 5-all, second set. Anika Nicolescu won the first set.
yeah, well, I mean, what a great hold from Hanish Zubori. Floor, I mean, is wonderful in her ability to handle the pressure and really come through. We find ourselves, you know, 5-all, second set. And I was a little curious in that game. Nicolescu seemed to back off a little bit in that game. She was playing a little bit deep, a little closer to the middle, and I think that opened up her corner a little bit for a couple of the Zubori overheads.
Yeah,
Love 15.
Yeah, that last game, Zabori, I mean, I just think Hanish Zabori really mentally were tough. I mean, Hanish came up with some huge serves when she needed it. You know, down a couple of set points and hit some unbelievable serves.
Love 30.
Yeah, two really good return to serve start off this game for Zabori and Hanish, and Anika's got herself in a little bit of a hole, Jeff.
Yeah, they've slowed down their returns, and they're, instead of powering them, they're placing them. You know, they're getting them down low and then setting up the point. No more cheap, easy, free points until there.
15.
Zabori
30.
shaking her head, knowing that, you know, they got to where they are by not doing that. That's how they were losing early.
Right, she's got to sense the importance of this situation right there, and she didn't have to force it. She got the ball of life off that back screen. She just went too big.
Good point here. You can hear Anika calling out every overhead. I got it, you got it. They don't want to make any mistakes here, have any miscommunication at this point in the match.
That's a great point, Jeff, because this is when you haven't played that much with each other. You know, it could be a routine lob that, you know, could be something that could really hurt you. So I love the communication.
Great shot there.
As much as I love that volley. Wow.
Yeah, as Zabori moved over, she was going to take a crack at it, and instead it was Hanish who took a little bit of a crack at it, left Zabori side open, and Anika made the volley. Got it behind Zabori, and
5-all, 30-all, and that's just, you know, Anika. I remember when she came into this game, just I was floored by her overhead, but I was even more floored by her volley ability.
yeah, you sort of just saw that
30,
fall
40.
coming. You know, you say what you want, but Zabori slowed things down, kind of walked in there, slowed Anika down, and as you know, as you talked about, she's had a little trouble with her serve along the way. Oh. Changed her mind by Nicolescu. She let it go, it landed in, and so we've got 6-5, Hanish Zabori. The tide has turned a little bit. Now we'll see if the nerves creep into Hanish Zabori, and if Anika and Nicolescu can play a little more free-flowing and get this thing to a tiebreaker, or whether we're going to be going the distance.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious about Nicolescu's approach to this game, because I did feel she backed off a little bit in the last go round when she was on the baseline, just giving Zabori just a little bit too much of a wide open corner, and I would love for her presence to be felt a little bit more. And you know, their bread and butter is the consecutive drives that they can hit, you know, just that offensive onslaught that, you know, has gotten them to this final and through that first set, and I'd like to see them dial that back in. And right now, Hanish and Zabori have a lot to say about that, because they have totally changed the tempo of this match.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Patty. You know, that conversation, whatever it was, you know, 5-7 games ago, where it was in the middle of the game, they were down love 30, and Hanish went over to Zabori. They talked about it, and they just changed their strategy on the return to serve, just making sure that they got at least, you know, 2 balls over the net and in play before they made an error, and that's you know, that's changed things significantly.
Love.
And you know, I think there you see Hanish too. She's talking to Zabori, because Zabori hit the ball over to Nicolescu's forehand, and I don't think you're going to see that happen again. I think unless it's wide open it seems like Hanish just told Zabori that
15
we're going to hit the
all.
ball over to Anika. We're going to make Anika beat us. We're not going to let that Nicolescu forehand take us down.
You, me, yes.
Love 30.
Yours. Yours.
15-30.
Yeah, Anika just too deep in the court there. And I think that's what you're going to see, at least for the rest of this set. And if it gets to a tiebreaker, through the tiebreaker, they're gonna put every ball over here to Anika.
Yeah, they're going to overplay Anika big time. And Zabori's cleaned up her act on her overheads. No errors here in the last few minutes, Jeff. You know, she's taking a little pace off, and she doesn't have to hit a wonderful ball into 2 screens. She just got to hit the ball into Anika's body.
Yeah, they're not playing Anika because she's a weak player by any stretch of the imagination. Just in the back, they're gonna make her.
30-40.
They're gonna make her beat them from the back when they get to the net. They're not gonna let the Nicolescu forehand, win or lose this match. And I do think if Anika can just be patient.
Game, Anika Nicolescu. Score is 6 all. Second set.
And here we go. We're going to tiebreaker. Gives Anika Nicolescu a second chance. They had, the door was open. It was 9/10 of the way open. They were 1 point away from taking down the Boston Open. And so they've got to feel like now, after they lost that game and went down 6-5, they got this back to a tiebreaker. They got to feel like they got a second chance.
Yeah, I've got to feel like they're going into this a little bit relief. They couldn't capitalize on 3 championship points they had earlier, as you said, Jeff. And right there, great rip from Zabori to start this tiebreaker off.
Yeah,
Not the greatest of serves from Nicolescu right there. A little too short, and Zabori just jumped on it.
Yeah, and kudos for Sabori for really, placing it as opposed to driving it through Nicolescu. When they had those match points, it's not as though Anika and Nicolescu did anything wrong. They played a really good point. I really think, Hanish Zabori won those points. It wasn't as though, Nicolescu or Anika did anything wrong or made some, dumb mistake.
It's a great point, and I think at the top level of the game, in the women's game, points are won. You don't get that many gifts. That might have been a gift in a tiebreaker, though. 1 all.
1 all.
Second set
Nicolescu's
tiebreaker.
pretty far in. Great drop shot there by Zabori.
2-1 Hanish Zabori.
I think
Yeah,
that was
big
in
time.
one of the
I
keys
loved
to
it.
victory.
One Hanish Zabori.
And that's really an ultra free point. Not only the fault, but they, I think Anika's got to know that Hanish is not going to try to drive that ball too hard. They're really just going to try to place it.
Yeah, there's not a huge threat from Hanish because she's just going to hit a high percentage return to serve. I think that's where you're going with it, Jeff, and you got to just dump that ball and play. Big time situation here. Easier said than done.
Hanish Zabori.
Ooh, and you can feel Anika all of a sudden here. Couple of unforced errors.
Yeah, she's got to gather herself. She's a champion. They're all champions out there. I'm sure she can do it. It's been a while since she's been in this situation. The nerves are creeping in a little bit. I mean, that's a shot she's been making all match. She hasn't dumped one in the net, but got a little tentative. And when you're hitting that roller like that and you get a little tentative and you don't swing all the way through it, that's what's going to happen. It's going to go short with a lot of spin right into the net.
Yeah, you got to be fully committed, and you've got to just explode, maintain, and swing through the shot.
Yeah, Anika's just she's not
5-1
having it here
Hanish
in
Zabori.
this tiebreaker. She's got to pull it together. But a great serve there by Zabori. Got it, right down the middle. Got it into the Nicolescu backhand. She wasn't able to rip that big forehand.
And this is what we've come to expect of Zabori and Hanish. They find a
6-1
way.
Hanish Zabori.
big old miss. You know, you feel like Anika wants this set to be over with rather than kind of digging in deep and working for each point and each shot right now.
Right into the body. And that's, you know, that's what Annika likes to play. She likes to play at that pace, nice and hard. That was real loose. I mean, nothing to lose at that point. You're down 6-1. See if they stick with their strategy, if Zabori tries to just finish this in one big forehand. She goes for the one big forehand right at Anika. Knows that Anika's struggled here a little bit towards the end of that second set, and into the tiebreaker. We're going the distance, Patty.
We are, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, we'll be right back just in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
Oh, no, it's actually really warm up here. Yeah.
So this is just
Done. Great job. Hey, good stuff to you. Patty, good job. Yeah, a lot of fun. You guys look great out there. How long have you been playing?
Who, me? Oh, I've been playing my whole life. How about you?
Wow, I only started playing when I retired.
Someone say retired?
Looking good out there, Eli.
Thank you. Need time. I don't know if that'll help or not, but
welcome back to the Boston Open. We are in the middle of an amazing three-set final between Floor Hanish.
Gabby, I don't know if they'll have a
Floor Hanish is out here with Anna Zabori, currently undefeated in this season, and they're up against Gabriela Niculescu, Roxy Anika. As you saw, Anika and Gabby Niculescu came out of the box on fire, won that first set 6-3, had a little momentum early that second set. Hanish and Zabori just battled, fought their way through. Lopsided tiebreaker there where Hanish and Zabori prevailed in that tiebreaker 7-2, and we're going to find ourselves in a third set here. Just an amazing finish to the Boston Open where we found ourselves in a draw with 17 of the top 20 women in the country playing this match. Number one seeds Hanish Zabori looking to continue their undefeated streak we referred to. They took out Domenico Gebbia on the way. They took out Gio Williamson. We saw Anika and Niculescu teaming up for the first time. Haven't played a lot of tournaments. They, showed they were ready to go here. They took out Cooper Molenveld, the number 2 seeds, who were on a roll after their win in the Midwesterns last weekend, and then came up against Elliott and Radesno, who had a great win against Shea and Sutter. And Anika Niculescu came through that match 6-3, 6-3, found themselves in this, match, in this final, pitted against Hanish and Zabori. And I expected a wonderful match here, and I think all the fans around the country enjoying the action. I love people texting and chiming in on the chat, loving to see the best women's players in our game. And, when you look back at who's won national championships in the women's game, you see that, Niculescu, Andreeva won it in 2016, Hanish, Van Sterenborg, Cooper, 2017. They beat Cruz and Anika in that final. And ever since then, these have been the game's top players. There are lots of questions coming into this final in Boston. And, I think Anika and Niculescu have answered every one of the questions, and Hanish and Zabori have just answered the most recent one, where we weren't certain how they would handle the waves going up and down in momentum, because, quite frankly, they've been dominant in their play this season. And, you know, it's kind of the first time they were really behind. And that was all a credit to Nicolescu and Anika coming out of the box just on fire. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves third set in Boston. We're looking forward, following this match, to the finals of the men's with Johan Durant, Stephen Mitchell coming up against the unseeded team of Drew Broderick and Tomas Christian, who have themselves had a great tournament here on the men's side, pulling off a few upsets along the way. And, you know, all eyes are turned. A lot of people are watching football games. I hear there's some playoff games this weekend, but, you know, the paddle is so exciting, and I'm glad we are on the air early with this women's final here. And, Jeff, are you ready for a third set?
I am ready. You know, I'd like to give a shout out to the umpire, Bill Horn. He's up there in the chair. This is a long match. He's kept things under control. He's had to make a couple of overrules. No problems from the players. They're taking a little bit of a longer break here. We've had bathroom breaks. We got banana breaks. We're throwing in some extra food, some electrolytes. The fans are excited outside. A lot of talk about this third set. Some of the fans were saying that they see they think, they were saying, this really has to favor Zubori and Hanish because of the momentum. You know, we'll see. I think that would be the general sense, but you know, I'm not so sure. I think, you know, I don't think Anika had the best last couple of games. They had their chance. I don't think that it's been like, you know, Zubori and Hanish are somehow have taken over and you can see a huge momentum shift. I just think it was the level of play sort of at the end there. You know, we'll see. I think this third set's going to be close. I don't see a blowout unless you get, you know, one player to, you know, just fall apart. And I don't think that Anika's going to, you know, fall apart. I think her level of play is going to pick up here, and looking forward to a great third set.
Jeff, can you talk a little bit about the APTA Cup women's standings?
Yeah, the ATPA Women's Cup. We can see the standings up there right now. You got, obviously, the two top players in the country. You got Zubori and Hanish at the top. You got, you know, Morgan, Shea, all the players that you would expect to be up there, with the exception of, you know, the other two that we're seeing on this court today because they haven't been playing. Obviously, with the players and teams that they've gone through to win and to get to where they are now, they're going to be moving up the standings, and we'll see if they can make it to the top.
I mean, Jeff, this is so fun. 12 national champions are in the field, and the women's, you know, from in this field with the men and the level in our sport. So exciting time for women's paddle. Yeah,
it's awesome. I mean, I've played mixed doubles against, I think, almost all these women, either with or against them. I've had Anika's been my partner in mixed doubles. I've played with Andrakova along the way for a couple of years. I've obviously, you know, played against a lot of these women. They're really, really impressive. I've played with Cindy Prendergast, and we played Vicky and Javi one year, and I hadn't really followed the women's game at the time too much. I knew that she was one of the best players in the country, but when I played against her in mixed doubles, it was just amazing to me how smooth she was. No matter where she was on the court, she knew exactly where to put the ball. She knew what she was doing. You couldn't overpower her. You couldn't really spin her around in the screens. Just one of the best, you know, I think one of the best, obviously she's going to be a Hall of Famer, but one of the best all-time women players that I've ever played against. Little different style than some of the women that are out there today. You know, she didn't have any overpowering shots. She was more of, you know, played a little more like a Kerry Delmonico, just always in the right spot, placing the ball where it needed to be, and just, you know, not making any mistakes, and really had a great knowledge of the game strategically.
Boy, did she have a low pulse when she played on court, Jeff. I just was always just loved watching how poised she was during play. No matter, you can see how these players, when it gets a little bit intense, some of the players can't resist the opportunity to just, be reactive in that moment. And it's just something you never saw from Stoklasova as a player.
Totally agree. Yeah, everybody's different. Anika needs that emotion. She's an emotional player, a little bit like Araya. She likes to be a little bit fiery. Stoklasova, very calm, cool, and collective. Didn't matter what the point in the match was from the first point to the end. Just always, super cool and smooth. And, I think I don't think any of the four ladies on this particular court have that approach to the game. They're very fiery. Equally as competitive as Stoklasova, just and Brazova, just in a different way. They carry themselves in a different manner. They have different styles of play, and you see a little more firepower here, not just in their game style, but also their on-court personalities. They wear their hearts on the sleeve, and we're getting ready for the third set here. You could see, during the changeover, you couldn't see it, Patty, but Nicolescu really talking to Anika, talking her up, trying to really build up her, get her confidence back. It looks like they may switch sides here. They're switching sides, I think, right, to return. I think we had Anika on the backhand court, and now we're going to get Anika on the forehand court to return. Interesting.
I love the play. I think it's a great call, Jeff, and they went into this match knowing that they could play either side and that they would have a willingness to make adjustments with their positioning, if things were going south. And things, didn't go totally south. Just, Hanish and Zabori just cleaned it up, eliminated some errors toward the end of that set. Anika made a lot of errors at the end of the set, so I think it's a great play to switch sides. For Hanish to start the third set.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't disagree with you in terms of the idea of switching sides, but I'm not so sure that they needed to do it just to return because, apart from that one game, that one big game where Hanish hit a lot of great serves, I would say that both Anika and Nicolescu were having no problem returning and getting control of the net, getting the ball back past Zabori. I think the problem was a little bit when the point started and they were getting the ball over to Anika and she wasn't playing great. I think if they, it'll be interesting to see, but I was thinking maybe more switching during the point and getting Nicolescu over there, but we'll see.
It's a confidence thing, and I think sometimes, we said Nicolescu and Anika's great play in the first set really upset the tempo, the timing a little bit of some of the Zabori in particular overheads. And then you saw them go into a little bit of a slowdown mode. And then, they just put a lot of balls in play. The points were going a little bit longer. And this is just where, Anika hasn't had the match toughness. And she had, she's coming back from a knee injury. So, and we talk about pressure, Jeff, and there is pressure out here. And I think sometimes if you're feeling it, going over that deuce court, in case Zabori and Hanish leave some shots up the middle or anything to the ad court, they can put themselves where Nicolescu can just crush. She's won national championship with Andreikova over in that ad court. She certainly can do it all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they both have a lot of experience playing both sides.
I also think what it brings potentially into play is the Nicolescu movement more and some blitzing off of some Anika drives that, Nicolescu can't do out of that deuce court. So I think it could bring a little bit of that. And this is Gabby time, as I refer to it. When there's pressure-filled moments, she wants the ball, Jeff.
Yeah, that was clearly the reason for the switch.
Come on!
Game, Hanish Zabori. They lead the third set, 1 game to love.
Yeah, big change in momentum, Jeff. You can just feel it. And I think, when you think about players out there in the courts, where's Waldo? Anika is Waldo right now. And when you're Waldo and you're getting pummeled, you've got to just sort of figure it out how you can go in a little bit more of a defensive-minded mode, in my opinion. Just throw up a lot of balls and then just get Gabby some more touches out here. See if you can't force some play over to Gabby's side of the court. You know, you do that with good luck.
She's, I'm not going to say hobbling, but she's not moving like she was in the beginning of this match.
Yeah, and this is about mental toughness right now, Jeff, because she's gonna have to suck it up and just get in here and just keep the points going and let this match land on Niculescu's paddle. When Anika went over that deuce court, she had a shot a couple of plays ago that was a really awkward ball that instead of her flicking a low backhand, she had to go the other way, did a circle and missed it forehand, and that was telling. I think you saw that too.
Yeah, I just don't think Anika is 100%, and that's putting, and I think Niculescu knows that, and it's putting, Niculescu is, rightfully so, I guess, having to put a lot of pressure on herself to do more and more, and sure, she's capable of it, but it's always hard when you feel like you have to do more than you are really comfortable with.
Game. Hanish Zubori, they lead the third set, 2 games to love.
And again, there, sorry, go ahead, Patty.
Oh, you go, Jeff, sorry.
Yeah, no, just another well-placed, soft return by Hanish, and, they haven't made, can't remember them making a return to serve error since that conversation that we talked about, early in that second set, or halfway through it.
How about that return to serve from Hanish? Just took advantage of a short serve from Niculescu, hit an off-speed ball, wide angle, beautiful shot. How many unforced errors has Hanish made in this match, Jeff? What do you think? 3?
Yeah, not many really since the first set. I mean, there were certainly some forehands, a couple lobs early, but in the last 7 games or so, you really haven't seen any. And when you have, the ability to do everything and anything, and everything and anything isn't working, it really takes a lot of mental focus to slow yourself down and realize that, you got to slow it down first. And they were able to do that.
All.
Well-placed shot there by Zubori. A lot of spin on it. Got it right on the right hip.
Well balanced. Yeah, she didn't overhit it. Just great placement. This is the test for Niculescu and Anika if they can actually slow down play. Because now this is going fast, Jeff. So they're going to be the ones to have to, just play longer points, have a willingness to try to slow it down. The quick points, the quick exchanges are going in Zubori Hanish's favor here, big time.
Great shot there by Anika. Got it into the nick, slow roller, kept it low, hit the nick, and a little fist pump by Anika, trying to pump herself up, get back into this match, get her groove back.
Jeff, I've seen her for years with that roller overhead. When she's the player to the left at the net, she has been able to open up the court against most opponents. Niculescu finds herself in that position most of this match, and Anika hasn't gotten that many looks, and, she derives a lot of confidence from getting some points off of those rollers.
Very close there.
You just see the teamwork from Hanish Zubori. Great shot, and you can just watch their positioning. They adjust. The ball's over in that ad corner. They both have slid over to their right. Floor's looking to defend the drive. Anna's looking to defend the overhead, and Gabby missed game point in the net. And Hanish Zabori, monster change around, find themselves up 3-love. Third set, finals of the Boston Open.
Yeah, Nika standing there, looking at her drink, grabbing some extra electrolytes. Hanish and Zabori looking energized. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
Nika's got to get fired up here.
yeah, this is it. I mean, this is it for them. They really need to get this game in order to get back into the set at 4-0. You really have to be thinking about it going down, the water going down the drain.
Are they looking into the sun on this side, Jeff?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So it's tough for Nicolescu to be effective helping out of the net because she does look like she's looking straight into the sun.
Yeah, we saw it earlier in that, that other, I think it was the 6-5 game where Nicolescu lost one in the sun.
Yeah, you just feel like Zabori and Hanish are feeling very comfortable, Jeff. Zabori was pressing earlier in the match. Hanish, of course, just maintained a total even-keeled approach to this, and they look like there's nothing stopping them right now.
Long lob there.
30 all.
And Zabori just doesn't have to make that shot that good, Jeff. You got Anika a little bit in question with her mobility right there, and just let her hit the ball from around the service line. That'll give you enough, of a look, create a little bit open spot in front of her. It's kind of playing the score, just keeping the ball in play, and all the pressure's on Nicolescu and Nika big time right here for them to come up with something. And Zabori and Hanish just would be wise to just really be choosy here. No unforced errors.
Just missed the nick. Great shot. Oh, good one there. Got it right down in the corner.
40-30.
Zabori probably needed to move her feet just a little bit better. She got down nice and low, but she was in a stretched out position. Caught it off the end of the paddle and wasn't able to get it back in play. But Patty, they were being nice and patient. They were waiting for the right one. They just never got it.
Yeah, and that's the fine line, Jeff, when these players are trying to close it out, like Zabori and Hanish, huge momentum swing and trying to close it out. My point is that, they don't have to do it all at once. They just have to be patient, 1 point at a time. You hear it over and over, but it's true.
Big forehand there. Catches the line.
Wow.
I think Zabori, it's tough to see, but it looked like Zabori was thinking about calling that one out. She thought it was going to go wide, so it delayed her swing, and saw that it landed in, went to play it, and she was just a little bit delayed, so she missed it. And, there we go. Nicolescu and Anika, they kept themselves in it. We'll see if they can, pull this one out. But even if they lose this game, 4-1, I think they're still in it. At 4-0 is a different animal.
Yeah, so they're 3-1, and what an that backhand overhead, Anika, I think Zabori just thought Anika was a little bit hurt on that and just underestimated her ability to come up with the shot.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something with Anika, and she's fighting through it. She's giving it all she's got. Be interesting, either way, win or lose post-match to find out what if anything is wrong. Great spot there by
15
Nicolescu.
all.
Yeah, not the smartest of overheads from Zabori right there. You've got Anika throwing some errors your way. You know Gabby wants the ball, and they just fed it. They fed her the ball of life on her forehand.
So good.
Yeah, this is the play. You've got to go back over
15.
after Anika over there, who's limited a little bit with her mobility.
Yeah, good play there. Got it, you know, right into the side screen. It was tucked in nice and tight to that wire. Those are always hard shots no matter what. Hard to get that
Yeah,
back in
really.
play.
Yep, and it was a good overhead. Set her paddle early and had a little bit of, it was a deceitful kind of shot. And she caught, Anika with it. And again, this is what I would expect. Go after Anika here.
Call stance. 30 all.
High risk, high reward shot, but didn't get the reward. Soft.
And right there, that's where, they're up 3-1. This is a huge point. Just gotta, Zabori doesn't have to go that big.
Oh, it was
From
in.
that
Great
wide.
lob by Hanish.
30-40.
It's fascinating, Jeff, where you just see, the patterns with sometimes Zabori falling into an Anika where they'll make an error and then they'll make a quick error to follow.
Oh, great drive there.
Game, Anika
Zabori was in the right spot, but there was so much power coming off that
Nicolescu
Nicolescu forehand, hit the paddle, went long. And they are back in this, somehow keeping this set together. Not sure
Jeff, do
how
you
they're
think
doing it, but they were able to pull out those 2 games just when we thought the water was completely going down the drain. They're back in it. Nicolescu looks a little refreshed about it.
Well, Jeff, there's psychological moments in the match, and it's so difficult. You lose that second set in a tiebreaker if you're Anika and Nicolescu, and that's when maybe you feel your knee. When you have adrenaline and things are going well, your injuries can subside a little bit mentally, I would say, and then all of a sudden, when things aren't going your way, everything always seems to hurt a little bit more. And now we got those first 5 games out of the way. I think if you're Nicolescu, Anika, you are thrilled to be down 3-2 in the 3rd set.
Absolutely. Here we go. You got, everyone's bouncing around now. They're trying to get their energy back. Let's see what happens here with the Nicolescu serve. That's that same ball, that really well-placed return by Hanish. Cross court, keeping it low, not a lot of power. Zabori moving in. It'd be interesting to see if they switch over to an I formation because Hanish right now is just taking advantage of the Nicolescu serve.
Yeah, I would add that I think we'll see if Anika can move over a little bit. I mean, just let Nicolescu look to cover the wide return of serve and get Anika to help her out a little bit with the middle return.
Yeah, even there, the last time, this time and last time, that great shot there by Nicolescu really got Hanish moving.
15 all.
Even last time Nicolescu served, both Zabori and Hanish were really spotting their returns well. I do think that it would make sense to go to an I formation or do something a little different because they're really comfortable returning right now.
30-15.
And the announcers
But see, right there, right, but I just think, you get Anika a little bit more active up there, looking to help with that middle ball, which she let through. Then Nicolescu can focus on that cross-court amazing shot that Hanish can hit. I think it's all about matchups and what shots someone's, hot with in the moment and then solving for that. Wow, what a
Yeah, you see,
what a shot.
You know right there that there's a problem when Anika doesn't even go for that one. I mean, it was a
30 all.
decent drop shot. It didn't have sort of the backspin that, you know, the other ones have had under normal circumstances. There's no doubt in my mind that Anika gets that ball.
Yeah, well, it was a tough play. You know, Nicolescu they both had run back, and they had, you know, their momentum was kind of toward the back screen. Really smart play to throw in the drop shot right there. Smart and nervy.
Oh, great shot there. The slow roller into the side screen came off, was going to come off really low off the back screen if Hanish let it go there. She tried to get it before it got to the back screen and just wasn't able to get it with enough power up in the air.
Yeah, 2 winners from Nicolescu on her overhead this game.
Oh, what a get. Oh. Great get by Hanish. Nicolescu not happy there. Had a couple chances to win that point, but Hanish made a great athletic move forward, got it a little bit around the pole.
Yeah, and Zabori, what touch. You see her hands, really disciplined play there. Off speed, little wonderful shot. A la Vicky Stoklasova, right in that moment.
Long. First one that they've missed in a really long time right there, and just missed it a little bit long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hanish went away from what has been working really well. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's the first one we've seen really go down the line. I mean, she's just been hitting winner after winner or low ball after low ball. Great pickup there by Nicolescu. Nothing you can do there. Great shot by Zabori.
Yeah,
Zabori
and that's
is
a, you know,
pumped up.
it's the combination of shots right here from Zabori we've seen now a little bit in this game. And, you know, she's laying that first shot low, off speed, forcing the pop-up volley where then she can just finish it off.
Yeah, let's see what Hanish does here. She goes to that same spot. Didn't get it quite as low as the other ones, but a really nice spot on that return.
Advantage. Zabori.
Zabori really
Yeah,
trying to pump herself up.
That was a huge point, Jeff. Right there, you saw that Anika gave it all she got to, you know, retrieve that ball off the back screen. I think Nicolescu was pumped about that. Rock solid game here so far from Zabori.
Unforced error there. Zabori really supporting her partner. Hanish still smiling. Zabori giving her a fist pump, trying to pump her up. Knows, I mean, that shot right there, that's right in Hanish's wheelhouse, that forehand. That's their play. They love that play. Hanish hitting a low forehand when the court's open. Oh, wide open there. Zabori missed it.
Announcer's curse. I thought she was playing a really smart game right up to that point. She just went, you know, no reason for her not to just throw that ball through the middle of the court, Jeff.
Yeah, she had it. There was an opening there, but I think, you know, you're right. Just the 2 unforced errors back-to-back on forehands. And I like that play by Nicolescu. Oh, what a great lob by Anika. Back to the net. Right on the line. What a great play by Zabori. She loves that soft touch, move in, fast feet, soft hands.
Yeah, and you could just see she was engaging Nicolescu and you know, Anika. I think they would have been well served to throw that ball over the floor right at that point because, you know, that's the sequence that Zabori just thrives on.
Oh, you saw right there, Hanish took a big swing at that one. Great pickup.
Yeah, phenomenal low volley. Yeah, you can see Anika's a little bit hampered by that knee. The great thing is she's got that wonderful backhand low volley.
Advantage, Nicolescu.
It's really amazing to me how well all of them are able to pick up that low volley. I mean, they're hitting so many right off their shoe tops and getting them. They're not coming over with a lot of force, but just to be able to get the ball back into play and keep themselves in the point off of these great drives really shows the skills that these ladies have. Let cord. Wow. Zabori coming forward. Anika tried to take her on and just got that volley in the net. Might have been a better idea there to just go back to Hanish, but I think Anika saw it as an opportunity to win the point and engage Zabori. Dumped it in the net, back to deuce.
Yeah, but I think Anika would love that volley back. It looks like when she leans on that leg a little bit, it's hard. You know, she didn't stay down on that volley to make it.
And there it was. That's the return that's been so effective for Hanish against the Nicolescu serve. That short angle, down, wide, really difficult to cover. She's taking it early and hitting it, you know, down at the feet and wide into the forehand. Let's see if she serves volleys here.
Yeah, they just haven't made the adjustment for that Hanish wide return to serve yet. Wow, what a shot from Zabori.
And Zabori is pumped up. She stayed right in there. Credit to Anika. She knows how important that game was. She moved forward. She gave it her all to go in there and get it. Just couldn't get enough meat on it to get it past Zabori. And now we're at 4-2.
Yeah, I just feel like, Jeff, in these quick exchanges where you often see Zabori up at the net with Nicolescu and Anika, she's winning them all, or most of them, I would say, at this point in the match. And, you know, we might see a lob volley. You know, it might you got to figure out how to buy some time, Anika and Nicolescu here, and not feed into, you know, what Zabori does best.
And I don't know what's happening, but we've made it all the way into the 6th game of the 3rd set, and now Nicolescu decides to take off the vest. She's obviously now getting warmed up and ready to play. Yeah, that's too bad. Nicolescu's not happy there. She kind of shanked the return, but it got back to the baseline. You know, if Anika moved forward a little quicker, it would have been in a better spot, but dumped it in the net. Great get there.
Great shot of that beautiful serving technique from Zabori.
Nicolescu taking her time, really talking to Anika, trying to pump her up, come up with a strategy here. Looks like she's got Anika inside the baseline.
I like it.
Come on! You play it. If you play it out, Gabby, then you're out. No, you played it.
The ball was out.
She played it, and then after she
if Roxy called it, the ball was out.
Okay.
Interesting there, Patty. I don't know if you saw that, but I've got a really good look at that ball. It's on the sideline of the umpire. The ball was out, and you know, Nicolescu was just playing it, but Roxy had called it out, so we got 30 all.
Yep, I saw it, and the ball did look wide.
Yeah, it was wide. There was no complaint about the ball being wide. They just thought that, you know, I think it's true. If Nicolescu had played the ball before it had been called out, it would have been Zabori and Hanish's point, but Anika had called it out. She's got to get in, and she does. They take the net. Oh, good touch there. It was really low, and Zabori got down as low as she could and just still couldn't get it. It just came really soft, almost off the snowboard. And back to deuce. What a great shot by Anika. Snuck it by Hanish at the net, right on the line. Another one just soft off the snowboard. Back to add out, giving themselves a chance to stay in this set.
I'd love to see Anika sneak in even more on the Nicolescu forehand return to serve.
Yeah, she was
Take
before.
the return down the line and just get her even in closer.
I mean, it's tough because Anika has to play so far off the net where she normally doesn't play, because any deep lob, you know, she's going to have a hard time going back for. That was a really close there. Another one kept it on the side wire, and they're staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. 4-3. This is a barn burner, Patty.
Jeff, were you in that movie, Staying Alive? I mean, I thought you were going to go. Were you just dancing?
I'm old enough to have been in that movie. I don't have the dance moves to be in that movie unless, of course, it's late at night and I've been at the bar for a couple of hours.
You can just use one hand and just point, Jeff. You know, they are staying alive here, and to their credit, you know, these women are battling it out, and no matter how many parts of your body hurt, you know, you just hope you can keep it close so that you're in there at the very end, and then, you know, it's up for grabs, whoever can take it.
You know, this is obviously there it is. Got some head bopping going here. The fans are starting to dance outside. You can't see it, but they're moving. I don't know.
I mean, they're taking your lead, Jeff.
That's it. It's because they're trying to stay alive and stay warm. But I mean, obviously this Nicolescu, Anika is a team. It's clear that they're going to be a team this year. I mean, I got to give a lot of credit to Nicolescu. She has really been an unbelievable partner for Anika. She just constantly talking to her, keeping her mentally in this match. And kudos to Anika for doing everything she can, you know, physically to stay in this match.
Yeah, you saw a lot of the earlier play going over to Zabori's corner. Now it looks like, you know, it's a little bit more evenly matched, Jeff, bringing Hanish into play a little bit more. Great lob from Zabori.
Yeah, and there was Hanish right there. She knows she was just trying to get something short to get Anika moving forward, and she, you know, put it in the net, tried to make it a little bit too good. You know, it didn't need to be quite that good, and dumped it in the net.
Yeah, and you know, Anika was looking for the drop shot there, Jeff. You know, she had some momentum going forward, and just that makes you, as the person hitting the drop shot, go for a little too much sometimes.
Great athleticism there by Zabori.
15 all.
Nicolescu got it through, got it past her. Zabori ran it down, then she went with that dink play, got it just below the level of the net. Nicolescu tried to cut over and slam it right at Zabori's body, but it hit the tape.
Yeah, Zabori's getting the better of those little quick interactions. Advantage Zabori.
Yeah, just wide there. They're going to go. They're going to the I formation here. They're going to force Zabori to hit the ball down the line. Great serve, good pickup. And there's one. Nicolescu got that one.
Yeah, what a first volley from Anika right there, Jeff.
Unbelievable. Those are those shoestring volleys. I mean, I played mixed doubles with her in the mixed nationals, and I constantly couldn't believe how well she volleys from down low. She just gets them all back in play.
Game. Anika Nicolescu. Score is 4-all, third set.
And we're off, 4-all. I think it's more than Staying Alive Now. I don't know what the song I'm going to have to come up with from the 70s, but it's more than Staying Alive.
Could it be We Are the Champions, Jeff?
It could be We Are the Champions, but I think we're a couple games away from that.
You know, I think you're right. I'm going to have to stay present. It's so exciting, though, Jeff. I'm thinking ahead. All right, so 4-all, third set, Boston Open. You know, all 4 players, you know, showing up right now. No one's giving anything away. No quick little, you know, errors from anybody. And Jeff, it's only fitting it's a third set. I mean, why don't we get to a tiebreaker? How great would that be?
I don't know.
Not so great for you?
I don't know. I thought Zabori was going to go with a drop shot there. She tried to get that roller into the nick, and it just came out a little bit too far. And Anika was able to get it. That was tough, and you see Nicolescu, she's looking up. It's all shady in that corner, except the ball was up high at one point in that corner, and I think she lost it a little bit in the sun. 15 love.
Again, you know, I can't believe they're giving Zabori. I mean, Hanish is just crushing him on that cross-court shot.
Yeah.
Beautiful forehand stroke.
Yeah, it's been a great shot for, you know, for the last 2 sets, whether it be on the return of serve or whether it be off the screen, that angle. Oh, big swing there. I mean, go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, just saying in transition, Hanish is handling it beautifully.
Yeah, and you know, I do like one of the points you raised earlier about, you know, you liking to see Anika in there when Nicolescu's returning. You see she's got 1 foot in there. I agree with you. I'd like to see both her feet in there.
Heck, I'd like to put her on the service line and just get her in and apply a ton of pressure on that first volley.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's, you know, it's when Nicolescu does get that return of serve or drive and it goes through and Hanish or Zabori are running back and running it down, when Anika is not able to get in, she's getting stuck in transition. So if she starts up a little bit farther, you know, she won't get stuck. She'll be able to get in there. Nice low ball there, good get. 40-30, and they were up 40 love, so there's a big point here.
Yep, and that's just the consecutive drives that you can see Nicolescu and Anika can apply. That's the constant pressure off of their drives.
Let's see if
that's what got them into the finals.
Nicolescu gets it through. Can Anika get in? Oh, great move there by Nicolescu. She cut it off. I think next time that happens, I think you're going to see Hanish pull one down the line.
Yeah, or throw up a lob, Jeff.
Yeah, she's either going to throw up a lob or she's going to try to go down the line behind Nicolescu. I don't think she's going to let Nicolescu do that again. She did it last time. Too bad there. I think it hit the wire.
Hit the seam?
That's what I meant. Thank you, Patty.
I thought so. No worries.
I mean, it always hits the wire, I guess, when it goes back there, but every once in a while it hits the seam or the nick.
Yeah, and you get a shot that you just didn't see coming. Look at the pressure from that Hanish forehand in this match. You know, as we've gone deeper into the match, the Hanish forehand is becoming more of a play.
Oh, great play there. They won that point twice, actually. That volley that Nicolescu hit was going to go out. Zabori was moving forward. She played it, got it through, and there's no chance to run that one down. So they made a run, got it back to even. Now they're down 5-4, and we'll see here what Nicolescu can come up with on her serve.
I think the first return of serve from Hanish is going to be huge in this game, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll see what shot Hanish decides to play. See if she goes for that soft cross-court angle that has been so effective. Really gives, either ends up as a winner or it pops up and gets Zubori moving forward, which is what she likes to do. Every once in a while, Nicolescu's been able to get a serve out wide enough that makes Hanish move a little left, and that's been effective when she can get it out there, but that comes with a little more risk. Nicolescu and Anika really talking things through here. They're going actually into the I formation. We haven't seen this yet. So smart, I think smart by Nicolescu, taking away that shot that's been so effective for Hanish and gonna make her come up with something different.
Love.
And Hanish decides to challenge Nicolescu and comes up on the losing end.
But I just think whatever shot's on fire, when you're playing an opponent and all of a sudden the Hanish forehand is definitely breaking you down a little bit, do anything to avoid it. Just like we talked about avoiding the Nicolescu forehand.
30 love.
Yeah, there it is, you know.
Huge serve from Nicolescu right there up the middle, and
Yeah, that's the
You know,
first one we've
Zubori
seen. First one we've seen Zubori go after, and she missed it. Right for the last, almost 2 full sets now. She's just been spotting them and putting them in play. That's out too. Kudos to Nicolescu here. Big game, big moment. Decides to come up with a strategy change on her serve against Hanish and puts Anika over there, and it wins 2 points. Gets an error from Hanish, and then one of the exchange. 40 love. Great play by Zubori. Just took control. Nicolescu tried to get out of the way, but she just couldn't hit her.
Yep, and I just think that's where they have to resist a little bit. Zubori's on fire in those exchanges, and just throw up a ball. Just buy some time for your team to get back in position, maybe. 40-15. Nicolescu serving. Trying to get it to 5-all, third set.
Great hands by Anika to stay in there. Get themselves back in the point.
Wow, look at that Nicolescu forehand.
Big forehand. Nicolescu moved forward, tried to cut off the court, got the first one, and Zubori just stays in there. Really, fast feet, soft hands, snuck it by Nicolescu. Anika was moving left to try to cover for her, and then just couldn't get back. So we've got 40-30.
Another game point opportunity to tie it up.
Game, Anika Nicolescu.
And we're at 5-all.
Third set.
Yeah, great adjustment to start that game, throwing Anika over on the same side, Australian formation, just to take away. Hanish was on fire in her forehand, and we're at 5-all, third set of the Boston
What
Open.
a great shot by Zubori. Great return by Anika. Snuck it over to the screen. Nicolescu was closing in. Anything other than that shot that was hit by Zubori, and it was going to be a point for Nicolescu at the net, but she got it by, and we've got 15 love.
Every point's a highlight now, Jeff.
Except for that one there. That's not a highlight.
Whoa.
That's one of the first ones that Nicolescu has missed, and I'm surprised actually she was going right at Hanish there. Normally she had just been taking that ball down the line and coming in.
Yeah, I think she was still thinking about how happy she was that she held, and just a little bit of a mental mistake there in this game. Way too fast a game being played right here from Nicolescu and Anika.
Yeah, this is the third game in a row where the serving team has been up 40 love. On the other 2 occasions, the other team got it back to 40-30 and then ended up winning the game. We'll see what happens here.
Great serve. You saw the action, the spin, hit the back screen, go all the way over toward the side from Zubori. What hands from Zubori.
Good coverage there. Textbook teamwork. That's a shot that's been really effective for Zabori. That spinner right in
Game,
there,
Hanish Zabori.
right into the nick
They
in the
lead
corner.
third set, 6-5.
And they go up 6-5. We are one game closer to your dream come true, Patty. A third set tiebreaker in the women's final of the Boston Open. I'm seeing tournament director Drew Sawyer walking around. He's got an empty cup of something that once had something of a light brown color in it. Sunglasses on, smiling, couldn't be happy, out there talking to the CEO of the APTA, who looks a little cold with his skull cap on with the Boston Open logo, sponsors logos. We're getting ready. We're talking about the possibility. Oh, we do. Do we have a new ball? It looks like a new ball coming into play, and that is a dangerous situation to be serving with. The ball's a little bit livelier. It's going to be hard to control that first volley. Anika looks a little bit nervous.
Our officials watching just pointed out that the score of the finals of the Nationals won by Hanish and Zabori last year over Cruz Nicolescu, Jeff, was 3-6, 7-6, 7-5. Just so you know.
Just
Thanks,
pointing
Mark.
that out. It was a real opening there for Zabori. She's been winning those exchanges, and she actually won that exchange. The opening was there, but she missed the volley into the net. Oh, great move there by Nicolescu to cut off that return.
Yeah, you can't say enough about Nicolescu's play throughout this match.
Yeah, all the players, honestly, Patty, they're all just playing spectacular. You know, I think early in the match, you know, Hanish and Zabori were having some struggles from the baseline. You know, it was a very brief moment in time in the second set where, you know, Anika had some problems, but it's been really high level throughout.
Yeah, each player has had their time to shine here.
Oh,
and
what a get by Anika off the snowboard. And then just flicked it. And she tries to flick another. A great shot there. Got it into the corner. Tough one to dig out. She got the first one amazingly and just couldn't pull that one out.
Yeah, you could see she just couldn't hold herself down, and that's what you need to do. You have that low contact point, and you need to have that open stance. Tough to put pressure on that right knee when you're hurting, you know. But that's what you have to do to make a flick, get that ball back in play.
Great serve there. Really got it deep in the box. Able to take control of the net and let Nicolescu, you know, do her thing. There's that soft touch.
15-40.
Anika was waiting for the hard one, and they got the soft roller down low on the forehand side. Anika a little off the net, and we got ourselves double match point.
Yep. Yeah, I think they got to they need to keep Zabori back over in her corner, throw a ball, keep her honest over there. She's really coming into the middle a lot here.
Yeah, Hanish looks super focused right now. She's just not going to miss that screen ball. That was a very risky play. Oh, what a get. Unbelievable point. Really good lob there. They both wanted to swing at that. This is going to get hit. Oh, it's getting shorter and shorter overheads. Get in there. Oh, what a get again. A let cord comes in, covers behind. What a get, this point. Oh, amazing match point down. Gets all over the place. What athleticism. Anika giving it everything she got. Nicolescu grabbing balls out of the corner. Hanish and Zabori hitting unbelievable soft shots in the corners. best point of the match, maybe best point of the tournament, maybe best point of the year. Unbelievable. And Annika Nicolescu are staying alive. Here we go.
Just phenomenal.
There it is. Amazing match. Amazing match. Both teams have to be so incredibly proud of themselves. No shame in this at all.
Just a wonderful
Patty, I'm going
display
to let you take it from here. I'm going to go out and do a quick little interview with the winners. All 4 players hugging. All the fans going crazy here, Patty. They just have a lot of respect for the high quality level of that match.
Yeah, for all you paddle fans watching that, how enjoyable was that? And as we had gotten the report from Mark Fischel, the scores from last year's Nationals are identical to the score of the final here at the Boston Open. 3-6, 7-6, 7-5 win for Zabori and Hanisch. Their undefeated streak continues this season. They, as we pointed out, have not lost a match since last year's Nationals. The last time they had gone out was to Cruising Nicolescu in the Long Island event, the March 2 Nationals last year. But their play just, I mean, such an amazing display. The talent in the women's game. We knew, you know, with the firepower that Annika and Nicolescu brought to the table, that they would team up and be quite remarkable. And it didn't surprise me that they made their way to the finals. And it didn't surprise me, you know, how tough Hanisch and Zabori played really on a few points. I mean, this match was great. Came down to a couple of moments. A lot of quick exchanges. You know, Zabori, I think, won all of those quick little exchanges against Annika Nicolescu. Fabulous play. And hats off to Hanisch, who just rock solid throughout the entire match, and her forehand decisive. I think we'll throw it out to Jeff, who's going to interview our winners.
Where's Sophia? Where's Marta?
I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Oh, she's inside? Okay, she's inside.
Jeff Morneau is going to take it away here with a quick interview before the men's finals. Durant, Mitchell.
All right. I don't even know what to say. Definitely the best match of the year, men's or women's side, maybe best match of years and years to come. What do you guys have to say about that absolutely thrilling victory for all the fans here?
This is what we play for.
That's
you
it.
know, it's just enjoying the battle. We missed those unbelievable players. I mean, they were out the whole season, and this is the match that they gave us. And this is why you play. It's not necessarily only to win tournaments. It's just to go through those battles. And you know, we are on this roller coaster emotionally. She's more of my psychologist, but you know, it's just nice finding the joy in the battle.
Yeah, no losers out here on this court today. You know, kudos to Roxy, Annika, and Gabby Nicolescu as well. I mean, just an amazing match. It just came down to 1 or 2 points. You know, watching from the inside, it looked like you guys got off to a little slow start in the first set, just a lot of really unforced errors, and then the second set just tightened things up. You know, what happened? What change did you make that you think made a difference in getting the momentum going on your side?
I think the biggest difference was usually we're very confident with our serves that we can get the net, but they still returning very, very well. And we had to make some adjustments of serving, staying back, but it's still trying to take the net because they're very good at the net. And I think that's, the biggest adjustment,
you know,
technical.
It's just a new team that we did not have a chance to play this year, and it's always, I'm sure they had a chance to watch us and play us, but it was kind of a little adjustment to get used to. It's a lot of offense, a lot of power. They're super athletic, so it took us a while. I think a little bit of emotions in this match too. So we were able to find a way. And you know, we always say it's easy to win when you're playing super well right away. But finding the way when you're not playing your best and still not giving up and fighting as we did, saving match points in a second set. Just never give up. play until the last point.
Yeah, those match points. It wasn't as though they gave it. It wasn't as though they gave it to you on those match points that you had down. It was obvious you went out. You guys won though. You guys won those points. Amazing.
I did not know they had match points. I didn't. We switched sides and then we won the game or we lost whatever. And then it's tiebreaker. I was like, oh, it's a tiebreaker. And then she said something about we save match points. I was like, oh, I didn't know. Probably that was a good thing.
So for those of you who wonder what our strategy is, it's Florentina doesn't know the score most of the time. But I would like to say something. A few years ago, when I was not really sure about playing paddle or going back to Europe, Mark Fischel was the guy who made it possible for me. So, Mark, dinner or lunch on you this time. But I really hope we'll see him commentating in live because, I think Grand Prix and Nationals without Mark Fischel on site are not the same.
Can I give a shout out to everybody who came over and watched? We had some members who came all the way
New
from Canaan just to watch us. Thank you so much. And Martin, Sophia, and my mom, thank you guys.
All right, thank you all. Great match. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, girls.
First of all, I want to thank our commentators. They were awesome the whole time. I want to thank Weston. I want to thank the ATPA and Amin Kaduri and Drew Sawyer and Genius. By the way, just so you know, Drew, he was working parking yesterday. Like that's how much he cares about the event. And that's how much he cares. And so when I talk about the Boston Open, we're Discipline Alpha, we're sponsors. We want to make this the best event on tour. We want to make this the Masters. We want to have everyone come here. Now the problem is everyone's already here. So I don't know how many people we can get, but we're going to try and increase obviously the prize money. We want everyone back for this event to make it marquee. And so that's where we are. I want to thank Ingenious. These guys are awesome. And I don't know. Let's bring it. Oh, so we have jackets. I know we're kind of like we're kind of doing the Masters thing. These are gold sequin jackets. So if you wear them out, you will be the only one wearing them out. If you are at home and just having a down day, just put it on and say, I won the Boston Open. That's what you do. And if you go out to dinner with someone that you beat at the Boston Open, you wear it and say, hey, what's up? I won the Boston Open. That's it. All right.